Hey, what's up guys? This is Ian and welcome to another one of my videos. Alright, today I'm going to show you guys how to make fish and chips. Alright, it's a very simple dish. I hope you guys can like this video. Give me a thumbs up and let's start cooking. Okay, so let's talk about the chips. Alright, so the chips, you can use any potato. First you need to peel off the skin. And then you need to cut it up into pieces, right? And then cut it into strips, right? Alright, so it doesn't matter how thick it is, right? Just cut it to the thickness that you think is nice. And the edges here, it doesn't matter. You can put it one side or you can use it again. But what we want to achieve is to have a nice thick center, so that when we have this chip, it's nice and thick and it's nice and fluffy inside. That's what we want to achieve, right? So, and when you cut the chips, you slice it with the long end, okay, and try to space out a little bit, right? Not too thin, because if you have it too thin, then the chips won't be nice and crispy. I mean, it's nice and fluffy on the outside, on the inside, right? So this is nice and thick. Okay, so later when we boil the chips, okay, inside will be nice and soggy, and then when we deep fry it, on the outside will be crispy and on the inside will be nice and fluffy. All right, so that's how you cut the chips. All right, and then after you've cut it, you have your tub of cold water. Just put it in there, right? Let it soak up. All right, and then just rinse the potato. Okay, this is cold water. Rinse the potato until the water is no longer cloudy. As you can see now, the water is cloudy. And what we want to do is to wash the starch away, so that when you fry it, it's not so starchy. Alright, so let's move on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is to boil your chips. Okay, so I have already washed my chips, it's all here. So what I want to do is to have a pot of boiling water with salt. So I already started boiling this water. Okay, so now that the water is boiling, let's put the chips right inside. Okay, slowly. Alright, and you want to eyeball this. Make sure you don't overboil it. You boil it until the potato is nice and soft. It doesn't crumble. Okay, make sure it doesn't crumble, but it's nice and soft. Okay, slowly put it in until the water is boiling again. All right, put it in. And then once you have put all your potatoes in there, just let it simmer. All right, don't have the water to be crazily boiling. Okay, just have a bit of boil, but not really boil. Okay, let's put it in there. All right, just a bit more. Slippery little things. Okay, and remember to put salt, so that the salt actually holds the potato together when it boils. It doesn't break apart. Okay, all right, so let's cover this up and just let it boil until the potato is nice and soft. And we'll move on to the next step. Okay, if you see that your water is boiling really mad, just lower your flame a bit. Okay, lower your flame and just let it simmer. Okay, you don't want your water to be really boiling, crazily boiling. All right, so let it simmer and let it boil for a while more, and until the potato is nice and soft. Okay, so the potatoes have been boiling now for about 15 minutes, and I've taken one out. Okay, and as you can see, this is the texture that you want. Okay, just break it apart and it breaks apart easily. Okay, so this is the texture that you want. So what I'm gonna do now, right, I'm going to put the potatoes on a tray, and this is a tray with some parchment paper. Okay, and then take the potatoes out and put them on the paper. Okay, just like that. Try to be delicate. As you can see, I broke one potato. Okay, so slowly take your potato out. I broke another one. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna first turn off the flame. Okay. Okay, so take your potatoes out strand by strand. Try not to break them because now they are very delicate, very soft. Oops, let's try that again. Try not to break them. Okay, so I'm going to continue to take the rest out, and once you have taken your potatoes out from the fridge, let it cool down, from the pot, not from the fridge. Okay, then it cools down. After it's cooled down, put it in your fridge and leave it there overnight. Okay, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to prepare the batter. All right, and here are the ingredients. You need 1/3 of rice flour and 2/3 of self-raising flour and the beer of your choice. Okay, so let's start. First, you want to sieve your flour into the bowl. Right. Right. Let's do it with my right hand. I'm better with that. Okay, the reason why I sieve it is to have it more air. Okay. Alright, that's done. And then now let's do the self-raising flour. Alright, let's sieve it. Pretty simple. Right, done. Okay, so once that is done, you want to slowly first open up your beer. Okay, and then slowly add your beer into it and start to mix. All right. And the reason why you want to slowly add is because then you will know how much is enough and how much is too much. Or you don't want to go over, you just want to be just nice. And you want the texture to have that nice pancake kind of texture. Okay, not too watery. This is too thick, so I'll definitely want to add more. All right. Okay, this is still too thick. I'll try not to add more flour. I just want to control the liquid so that I get that right consistency. Right? Just keep whipping. Right, so this is like a ribbony kind of texture, you see, right? And that's what you want to achieve. Alright, so look at the texture now, right? So as long as you can see that it's creating some kind of pattern when it drips, it doesn't like dissolve into the batter itself, then your batter is ready. So what you want to do now is to put this batter into your fridge and leave it there overnight if possible, and then we can start using it when we start frying. Alright, let's move on to the next step. Okay, so in this step we are going to season the fish a little bit. Okay, so a bit of salt. Okay, right, just a bit of salt, and then we want to put a bit of salt in this plain flour. Okay, this plain flour is what we're gonna coat the fish with, and just a bit of salt there. Right, so what we're gonna do now is to take the fish, nice fish, and put it on the flour, and to firm up the meat itself. Okay, do it again, coat it, just to firm up the meat. Right, so let's do it for the other pieces. Put this side. Try not to break the fish. Alright, put it down, move it around. Alright, so let's move on to the next piece. Shake off the excess flour. Okay, the next piece. Alright. Alright, so that's it. Right, so let's move on to the next step. Okay, so now it's time for us to fry the fish, and so let's start. Turn on the flame, and then we're gonna put in some oil, just about half. Let's see. As long as the fish is able to, the oil is able to cover up the fish, then we'll stop there. Okay, and we're gonna heat up this oil to about 170 degrees Celsius. Okay, I think that's about enough oil. Okay, right, so let's wait for the oil to heat up. Okay, so while waiting for the oil to heat up, let's put one piece of the cod. By the way, I'm using cod. Okay, you can use any white flaky meat fish. Okay, and I'm putting the cod inside the batter itself. Okay, let it soak in the batter. Alright, so we're just gonna let it sit there and let's wait for the heat. Okay, so let's see what's the temperature now. It's about 177. Okay, I think it's okay, it's fine. So let's put in the fish. Alright, I put the flame to medium hot. Right, let's pull up the cod. Okay, let it drip. Slipping off my fingers. And then I'm gonna put the tail end in first because, alright, and put it away from you. So once it's done dripping, just put in the tail end in first. And then slowly let it lay in. Okay? And let it cook. Let it cook. Don't touch it. Alright, don't touch it. Just let it cook. And we'll come back to it. 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we're gonna flip it. We'll try to flip it, okay? Just leave it there for 5 minutes. Alright. Okay, so now that it has been cooking for about 5 minutes, we're gonna flip it around, okay? Right? Careful, it's gonna splash on you. Alright, and just let it continue to cook for another 5 minutes, and we're done, and we can drain it out. Okay, so we have been cooking the other side for about 5 minutes now, and also another way you can tell is that when the fish is not bubbling as much, which means all the water inside or the moisture inside is being cooked, and now is about ready to be taken out. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take it out from the oil. Okay. I'm not gonna turn off my oil because I'm gonna cook the next piece, but just to show you guys, you know, what it's like to be cooking one piece. So we're gonna take it out and we're gonna drain off the oil, and then we're gonna put it on a paper towel. Okay. All right. So that's your fried fish. Okay. Fried cod. Okay, look at the texture there. Okay, and while it's hot, let's sprinkle just a little bit of salt. Just a little bit of salt. Okay, let me see, where's my salt? Okay, I just want to sprinkle while it's hot. Okay, just sprinkle a little bit of salt. Okay, and that's it. Right, so I'm going to continue to fry the rest of the fish. And then I'm going to show you the next step, which is to fry the chips. Okay guys, so now that we have fried the fish, is we are going to do the fries itself. Okay, so I've taken my fries out from the fridge, fresh from the fridge, and as you can see, now it's firmed up. Okay, it's nice and firm. Okay, we can handle it. All right, and we have this oil that we used to fry the fish, and let's make sure it's about 170. Okay, it's about there, 172, so it's fine. So let's put the fries in one by one. Okay, and we're gonna double fry the fries. Try not to crowd your pot with so many fries, and try to monitor the temperature of your pot, of your oil. If the temperature drops, then you stop. Okay, you don't want to overcrowd your pot. Make sure the temperature is there, and then once the temperature drops, just stop, and then you can do the next batch. Okay, so now you want to wait for your fries to float up, and wait for the fries to have a little bit less bubbles, because the bubbles actually represents the water being cooked. That's why you see a lot of bubbles. So if you see less bubbles floating up or coming out from the fries, from the chips, then you know it's about time, it's ready. And when it floats up, so you gotta wait for it to float up. All right, so it's not floating up yet, and try not to let it stick to each other. Okay, as mine now tends to stick to each other. All right, and what we're gonna do here is to double fry these fries. All right, so once we have fried this once, we're gonna let it dry out, let it cool off on paper towel, and once it's cooled off, we're gonna fry it again. Right, at a higher temperature. Now we are at about 100 and see. Let's try it again. 140. Okay, maybe we want to put the flame up a bit. Okay, 140 is a bit too low. But for the first time, when we are frying, we don't want the fries to be golden brown. We are not trying to achieve that for the first time. It's the second time that we want to achieve the golden brown effect from the fries. For now, we just want to cook the inside, which is already cooked, by the way, because we have boiled it. Alright, so as you can see, some of the fries have floated up to the surface, which means that it's almost there, it's done. See? Alright, so this one is done. So we're gonna double fry these later. Let's take these out. It's not golden brown yet. Alright, so let's take these out. Look at that. Alright, so we're gonna double fry these, and I'm gonna cook the rest of the batch, and then we'll be right back to double fry it. Okay, so now that the fries or the chips have been sitting for a while now, okay, and we're gonna double fry it, which means we're gonna fry it again for another 2 to 3 minutes, and you'll get that crispy texture. So now the oil is about 187. We want it to be higher. It's about 187, 190. That's a bit too much, so I'm gonna turn the flame down a little bit. Okay, you don't want to burn your fries. Alright, so once the temperature is about 180, okay, and then you can put your fries in. So it's about there. Okay, I'm gonna turn the flame down just a tad bit down low. Okay, and let's see, 188. Okay, I think that's fine. Let's put in a small piece and try it out. Okay, and if it immediately fries, means that your oil is hot enough. Okay, so I think this is fine. So let's put in all my fries, okay, and let it double fry again for about 5 minutes. Smells really good. Okay. Okay, let's check the temperature again. 187, so that's a little bit too much. So let's put the flame down a little bit more. I don't want to burn my fries. Okay. And ooh, look at that, nice and golden brown. So my flame is a bit too high there, so you guys take note, okay? But it's fine. You can feel that now after double frying, the chips are much firmer and harder. Okay, some of my fries have burnt, but it's fine. Okay, so you got to watch the temperature. Temperature is really important. You don't want your fries to burn. Okay. Alright, so let's try the next batch and see if right, so this is a little bit burnt, but looks okay to me, and it's hard. It's hard. Okay, main thing is hard. Okay, let's try doing the next batch. Okay, let's check the temperature again. Okay, let's not get it wrong this time. It's 185. It's still a little bit too hot, so I'm just gonna lower the flame a little bit. Okay, and let's try it again. All right, so I'm gonna put my fries in. This time I'll just use my fingers. Okay. Try to fill up the whole pot. And there you go. Let's check the temperature. It's 170, so it's fine. And because now the fries are hard, so you can move it around and you can double check. Okay, just give it a shake so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. And once you see that the fries are almost brown, golden brown, you can take it out. Okay, this is almost there. Okay, the reason why my fries are also dark is because I'm reusing my oil. Okay, so this is fine. Okay, so I think we're almost there. Let's turn off the flame and we'll take our fries out. Ooh, look at that. Nice, yummy fries. Okay, so there you go guys, fish and chips. This is my version of fish and chips, and as you can see, the cod is nice and golden brown, and so is the fries. So I hope you guys can give me a thumbs up for this video if you like it, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.